Now, hello, Weekend Warriors. Welcome to another episode of the Weekend Dojo. Tonight we are talking about the Power Rangers 2017 movie, possibilities for the sequel, and a bit of a retrospective of the brand itself.
I thought we were covering the classic movie with Ivan News.
I thought we were. Oh wait, yeah, we're doing the original movie, the 2017 movie, and then retrospective.
Yeah. So, original movie. Now, anyone who's seen this movie already knows how kind of visually weird it was. I think it was the start of things going a little beyond my realm of taste.
Like,
But it was an original American movie. There is no Japanese equivalent of this movie.
mm-hmm.
The suit designs are
like
also American.
MacGyver.
A little bit, yeah.
That really sucks when a Guyver movie is compared to a Power Rangers movie.
Yeah.
It really sucks. Would you at least say the Power Rangers movie was better than the Guyver movie?
I would say the Power Rangers movie was better than the Guyver movie. Anywho.
Yes.
So, we all know how this went down. Essentially, ancient evil, even older than Rita, gets awakened. His name is Ivanus. He comes in, wrecks shop, and traps Rita and Zed in a snow globe. Now, this is where things get weird, because they had a very interesting take on the morphers. That included the sidebar pieces that the morpher is actually supposed to flip into. And the latex suits.
Those are actually pretty cool, though.
They looked cool, but the whole time looking at them, all I could think of is chafing.
Is what?
Chafing.
Shaving?
Chafing.
Chafing? What's that?
You don't know. It's like when your clothing don't breathe, and so it starts to break down your skin integrity because the sweat is still on your skin and making it soft.
Oh, okay. So basically, all you're thinking is that how torture it was to wear that?
Yeah, just all kinds of uncomfortable. In order to avoid chafing, they would have had to wear like something like a nylon or a lycra undersuit, and that wouldn't have helped with the breathability at all. And they was
But isn't that every modern day superhero suit? The Dark Knight suit, Captain America's suit.
Fair enough, but I gotta think they had to have, since then, the ability to make the costume breathe has gotten at least a little better.
Yeah. Ooh, I need to check. Can you be in charge of the chat? Because yeah.
Skipping on over. Stop skipping it. Come on.
Haven't got anything yet?
It's loading. Not seeing anything yet. Anyway. Yep. Hold on. Christian Torres. Okay, just saying hi. Hey, Christian. Welcome back.
Yeah.
So, where was we?
Yes. We were talking about the Power Rangers 1995 movie.
Yes. The costumes. Now, the helmets were also a little over-designed in my opinion.
Speaking of the helmets, did you know originally when they were filming the movie, they were originally going to have the mouthpiece wasn't going to be there. It was just going to be their actual mouth shown, and they weren't going to have any visor. That was the original idea, that when they were filming, they were not going to have any black glass visor there, and they weren't going to have the chrome mouth.
American supersuit sensibilities, ladies and gentlemen. They're not bad, but there are some things you just don't need to fuck with, okay?
Yeah.
There's some things just do not need to be fuckified. Now.
Transformers.
Now, where was I? In this movie, they introduced an interesting, element where there was this crazy new toy snack, whatever the hell it was on the market, Ivan was calling ooze.
Oh, ooze.
Ivan's ooze. And this essentially
This
turned
sounds
people
very
into...
wrong thinking about it now, though, especially the name.
Yes, yes. I think that collectively we as humans have gotten a little more prudish, or at least a little dirtier minded, I guess would be the better term, because otherwise we wouldn't have seen it.
Oh, you ever noticed how Ivan Ooze is pretty much a G-rated Freddy Krueger?
He pretty much is. Even the shape of the face is clearly inspired.
Yes.
Um,
And his whole personality, like his constant use of puns and jokes.
yes, they were definitely playing. It was essentially a Freddy Krueger personality. I think it was the same actor, actually.
No, it wasn't. It was the guy who played Bellic in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ew. Okay.
The Nazi guy.
Then that was a damn good makeup job. Anyway, so with Ivan wrecking shop, they essentially need new powers. Now, what does new powers mean? Well, clearly, the next logical step would be to chuck everything about the show of them turning into Ninja Rangers down the toilet and going with the whole Ninjetti storyline.
Actually, the whole ninja thing that was from the show came after the movie.
Well, I'm glad that the show did what it did, because the whole Ninjetti thing was, quite frankly, it was one of the dumber early Power Rangers moves.
Now, what ticked me off though was why didn't they use the suits, the Ninjetti suits from the movie? Instead, they made their own cheap, low budget versions of the suits, considering they own the movie. So they could have just took the props from the movie of the suits and used it in the show. Because let's be honest, Tommy's White Ranger Ninjetti suit in the TV show looks like a Ku Klux Klan suit.
Yeah, I think the problem with it is that they probably wanted to film scenes they couldn't, and the costumes from the show were just different enough from the actual ninja suits in Kaku Ranger that it was difficult to get across, or that it would be.
Were those ninja suits from Kagu Ranger though?
There's a very clever bit of movie magic there, but Kaku Ranger, before they transformed, would go running about in colored ninja costumes.
Okay, with the little white claws with the eye holes in them too.
With no eye holes, it was a single strip, but when they're moving real fast, you can't tell, see?
Oh, okay.
So ultimately, I think they wanted to go with their own design choice, and again, it was very poor planning that made the friggin' suit look the way it did.
So the suits in the movie wouldn't have fit with the stock footage then?
No, just for how elaborate they were.
Okay, yeah. Because they looked more higher quality.
Definitely. And here's the thing, I actually liked the ninja suits better.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to do like a Ranger cosplay, as a matter of fact, I want to introduce
versions of the TV show version.
The movie version.
Yeah, I agree.
I kind of want to do something like that with Revuger in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, then of course there was the thing the thing that every Power Rangers media has to have, the giant robot fight. Ivan, the CG in retrospect was just bad.
Especially for 1995.
And here's the thing, is like I watched this when I was a child, like when I was 4 years old. And back then I didn't know. But I am mature now. I still watch goddamn Power Rangers, screw you. And I gotta say, CG has gotten a lot better, but it's just so hard to do. And I think it's because my eye is trained to recognize it now.
Mm-hmm. Especially when Tohei does better CGI than the 20th Century Fox did with that movie.
Christian Torres is just saying you should watch the new movie of Megalodon. I might.
I might too.
Anywho,
Mhm.
so ooze. Now the giant
Yeah, when
robots were,
Toei when Toei does better CG than 20th Century Fox, you know they're just being cheap.
yeah,
Because Toei does far better CG with their Zord fights in Super Sentai than 20th Century Fox did with Power Rangers movie.
yeah, and this is just me, but okay, the Ninja Megazord. Do you remember what that looked like?
Yes, I do.
That was when things started to go sour. And I didn't know it at the time, but I know now.
How the head didn't even look like the actual head from from Kaku Ranger.
It was a perfectly good. It's you gotta screw with good shit. It's I don't understand how you
At
can
least they
take.
redeemed themselves with season 3.
Yes, they did redeem
Because
themselves.
remember the movie, if I remember correctly, the movie came out right before season 3 aired. June 30th, because remember, Power Rangers used to always start in the fall season. Because
True.
Mighty Morphin started in August 28th, 1993, and it would continue around that season. And then the next one would start in the fall, the next one would start in the fall. So yeah, season 3, I believe, started right after the movie.
Fair enough. And season 3 was pretty good. I gotta say though, just that movie, while it was ambitious, it was bold. I liked the plot, except for the Ninjetti part.
Uh-huh. What Ivan News? Did you like the villain?
I did like Ivan Ooze. I thought he was goofy
My
and fun.
favorite line of his was like, "We're the Power Rangers. Whoopee! Where's my autograph book?"
Uh, so yeah, if I were to rate the movie,
Mm,
I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. The
okay.
CG definitely prevents it from going any higher than that, but the plot is interesting and the ninja costumes were cool. Even if I was a little disappointed with the primary costumes.
Yeah. So you ready to capture 2017 Saban's Power Rangers?
Uh, actually, I just all I'm gonna do is gripe about it if that's okay,
Okay.
because
Then
it
can
was a
I
very
and then let you write about it?
okay. You go ahead, and then I'll just talk about my gripes, and
Okay.
they're all gonna be visual things, except for like,
I
and you've
know
all heard them from me before.
you have issues with things being too busy.
Well, not just that. It was like there was one choice that they made that, well,
I know what you're talking about. We'll get to it. All right. So Saban's Power Rangers. The basic premise is it all starts 65 million years ago. Uh, Dinosaurs reign the Earth. The Rangers have been betrayed by their Green Ranger, Rita Repulsa, and she wants to harness the Zeo crystal, which rumor has it to give to Lord Zed and rule the universe. That's the rumor, at least. And Zordon and his team desperately try to stop her and fail. So, in a desperate attempt to end it all, Zordon takes out his coin, hides it with the rest, and in a final confrontation with Rita, he sends his ship to detonate the Earth, destroying everything, and that's how the dinosaurs went extinct, and how Rita went to the bottom of the ocean. And then the time transfers from 65 million years ago to modern day 2017, where we're introduced to our character Jason Scott, who is a high school quarterback for Angel Grove football team, and he's with his friend doing a high school prank, which ends up getting him in trouble with the police. And in what's the word? What is the word when you have to have that strap around your leg?
tourniquet?
Yeah, he got a police curfew strap on his leg.
Oh no, that's not a tourniquet. That's that's a motion sensor
Yeah,
shock collar.
Yeah, he was forced to wear a shock collar and attend detention on Saturdays, where he will meet the other characters we will be introduced to. He meets Billy Cranston, who is being bullied by this kid who's supposedly to represent both Bulk and Skull. And Jason comes in, intervenes, slaps the guy in the face, and saves Billy from being bullied. Then we're also introduced to Kimberly Hart, who is another character within it, who is recently kicked off her cheerleading squad for basically doing a douchey move of sending a nude pic of her friend to her friend's boyfriend as a way of saying you shouldn't hang out with this person or whatever. And then she got huge trouble and sent to detention for that. And then after that, Billy and Jason meet up again after the detention scene, and basically Billy offers to help him remove the sensor off his leg if he takes him to the mine that night. So they do, and then everyone has their own reason for being there, and we end up meeting two new characters, Zach Taylor and Trini Kwan, who again have their own reasons for being there. So they all end up in the same place, and Billy detonates a thing in an old mine spot where his dad used to work, and that's where they come across the 5 power coins, which will have them become Power Rangers. They end up at Zordon's crashed ship, because they were all drawn to it, trying to find answers to why they're still alive after an event that happened the previous night after they found it. And they are given, and then once Zordon awakens from it, because when he died, he had inserted his soul within the ship's matrix. And then they are told they are destined to be Power Rangers and stop Rita Repulsa from stealing the Zeo crystals. So it's revealed Rita is still alive. And so throughout most of the movie, they're training to be Rangers as Rita also comes back, does her own thing. And then here's the interesting part where apparently Krispy Kreme has been put in as a key element to the plot of the story.
Okay, now you have my attention.
So apparently the Zeo crystal, which the Rangers have to protect on Earth, is right under the town's Krispy Kreme.
Well, I mean, put it where everyone's gonna be, then they won't look.
So
everyone loves Krispy Kreme. I'm getting some feedback from you, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm hearing my own voice. Anyway, it stopped. What was I saying? Yeah. So if you're gonna hide something, hide it where everyone wants to be, because I love Krispy Kreme. It's a bad habit.
Anyways, most of the movie, is just them training to be Rangers, and they can't become Power Rangers until they've bonded and fully trust each other 100%. And after an encounter that Trini had with Rita, where Rita broke into her house and basically tortured her, because apparently since they all have the coins, they all know each other's location. I think that's something to do with it, drawn to their energy source, and that's why Rita was able to find her so easily. And then Trini called the rest of them to join together, and they decided they were going to go try to kill Rita on their own without the powers other than what they have out of the suit, which pretty much just enhanced strength. And so they go fight her, and then Rita basically kicks all their asses and ties them up to a rope thing and a boat thing, threatens them, gets the location of the Zeo crystal, and then kills Billy. and then goes into an emotional scene, but they're all mourning over him and take him to the command center. The song "Stand By Me," like a modernized version of "Stand By Me," is playing, and then
really, really excellent choice of song.
I agree. And then after that, after they have a mourning moment where they're bonding together, Zordon decides to sacrifice himself coming back to life to save Billy. And then at that moment, they're all 100% trust each other and basically came out completely open to each other. So they were able to morph. So they get their powers, they morph, and then it's this big dramatic experience that felt like it was completely earned. And so after they morph into the Rangers, they get into their Zords. Or no, they don't get in their Zords. They go and fight the putties, which Rita had sent. And then they get into their Zords, go into the town, fight Goldar, which is in this version is a giant gloppy, mindless monster that Rita had used just as a war machine, basically, just her own sword to dig up the ground. And they fight him. They get Rita out. In a final scene where she tries to jump at him while they're in their Zord, they slap her into space. And then we see a small cameo from Amy Jo Johnson and Jason David Frank as they're in the crowd in their respected color clothing with iPhones. And then it ends with them going back to detention. And then post-credit scene, we hear the detention teacher calling roll call, and he says the name Tommy Oliver, and he's not present, but you see a green jacket with a little dragon print on it on a chair.
Okay, so I mean, like I said, I respect the movie for what it did. The plot was not a bad adaptation. I don't like what they did with Goldar, but making Rita the Green Ranger originally was actually a clever move.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest gripe is no morphers. Why no morphers? That's like the thing for Power Rangers. You can't have Power Rangers not have the toys. They had a toy for one,
Mm-hmm.
but
Now,
none in the show.
here's the thing, though, what I think, given that Hasbro has said they're continuing off the original, they're doing a rough continuation, or they're continuing off it, basically, they said. They've confirmed that. What they could do many different things with this. They could make an explanation to why the suits maybe evolved and look more like the original suits. And they could the powers could have evolved from merging onto them to being a morpher stone.
And then there's this whole Zeo crystal debacle.
Yeah. I can't wait until they get to that part.
Yeah, so not a bad movie. I'd have to give that a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Just for I didn't like what they did with Goldar. I kind of wanted to see him as a character in it. I don't like that, they didn't do the morphers, or that they got rid of Vulcan's skull.
Yeah.
So, just some key elements to enjoying the Power Rangers. I would have loved to have seen a modernized version of Vulcan's skull.
We could still get that, though.
True.
We're still in high school.
Speaking of morphers, something I wanted to cover tonight is I finally got some prop work done for Revuger, that superhero show that I'm working on, and this is what I've got so far.
Awesome.
Let's see if I can get that centered. Now, see, a couple of things took influence here. One, I actually took a page out of your book and made it out of Legos and hot glue, because this will be the early version. There will be later versions. I used a cabinet handle for the actual grip, and that was because I wanted to do a knuckle-style henshin device design, because I think outside of Ultraman, it hasn't really been done well since Zeo Ranger and Mighty Morphin.
Yeah. That's obviously based off the Zeo Buckler.
A little bit. It's also kind of, because I've been on a Transformers kick for a long while now, it's also meant to resemble kind of a Matrix.
Yep.
Now,
so
pardon?
Do we have any comments?
Just Christian. Oh, she's wondering when we're going to do the next board game video.
Oh,
we haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, let's do it again. How about let me see what my schedule is this Friday, but if I'm free this Friday, you up for another game night?
I can't stay late because with September I've got mandatory Saturdays coming up. Means I have to work every Saturday.
Okay. Maybe Sunday then?
Maybe Sunday.
Yeah, how about this? We'll do Sunday game day and Saturday night we'll do our stream.
That I can do.
All right.
So
Yeah, and we'll let you know when we have a game chosen.
so the idea behind this is this actually will slot in like so. As you can see, it's right in there. It's a little loose, so I'm gonna put some shims in there or something to, get it all kind of squared up.
Yeah.
Now what's gonna happen here is I've got this sanded, so it's got a nice grippy surface, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint that with red acrylic, and then I'm ordering two stickers online. One says OSR in a big circle on the front of it, and then the other is an epoxy sticker, which is a big round bubble sticker that's clear on the bottom that I can stick right over that. And what that'll do is that'll protect the sticker underneath. It'll look nice. It'll magnify it slightly. And overall, I'm quite pleased with how this turned out.
Cool. I think you did a great job with it.
Yep. I'm actually going to take the box downstairs and ask a family member to take your care package out to the post office tomorrow, so that it can just get mailed and done with.
Okay, cool. You have it already?
Yeah, like I said, it's all taped up. I've got your address written down, so your mailing address written down.
I see.
Pardon? Oh yeah, hold on just a second.
Ooh, nice.
Couple of things in there.
Mm-hmm.
So on top of your belt, I took the central part out, the plasma plate, and I put that in a little tiny box and filled that with newspaper so it wasn't jostling around.
Mm-hmm.
The controller of doom is in there. Your new Bolshi is in there, and a patch.
Right.
That controller of doom, for those of you watching who don't know, is a controller I reviewed once on my channel, and it is terrible.
It's for the computer, right?
Yes, it is a USB computer.
It's gonna be fun.
Computer game controller, and it is awful. It is the Belkin Nostromo N45 for anyone wondering. Not the N52. The N52 is a great gaming keypad. This is a gamepad, and it's just.
Wait, what does it look like? I'm gonna look it up. What's it called?
The Belkin. That's Belkin.
All right.
Nostromo.
B-E. All right. B-E-L.
K-I-N.
K-I-N. Nostromo.
Yeah. Nostromo is all one word.
Yeah, I see it.
N45.
Right. Belkin Nostromo what?
N45. The N52 is actually a good gaming keypad, but which is different from a gamepad.
This one?
That be it.
Oh boy. Oh boy. That's gonna be fun.
So yeah, it's going to be the exact opposite of fun. Your hands are going to hurt because you're going to be afraid of snapping the controller.
Ah. Is it that easy to break?
I cannot hold it without hearing it creak.
Ah.
So yeah. Anywho, so other than that, I guess all we can do is talk about our expectations for upcoming Power Rangers events. And since they covered Beast Morphers, it makes me wonder if they're going to go back and cover some of the other skipped over ones.
Like Tokuger?
I suppose it'd be kind of hard to pass that up because that's a very easy thing to produce toys for.
The question is, how did you Tokuger without that? Wrong. That train.
I imagine what's going to happen is some very clever cutting.
Yeah. Of that episode, or at least just not use that episode.
Yeah. So that's definitely a possibility. They might change.
That's become a meme at this point, and it's past enough level that everyone, even people who don't watch Super Sentai, know about that Megazord GIF.
Yeah, and now here's the thing: is I'm hoping that they don't pull what they did with Ninja. Now, I think the Ninja Star Morpher is definitely a better design, just because I'm a sucker for Knuckle Morphers.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't like as much as the original Morpher design. But it's a good choice using a different weapon because that sword did not have to be the Morpher.
Right. I think keep the train things as the Morpher if they're gonna do Tokuger.
Yeah, that's what I would say, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah. What other option do they have? That gun?
Yeah, that is a good point, and it could be the gun. I mean, they did Dino Charge. Fire Kaiser says hi.
Hello. What other Sentai could they do that hasn't been done other than Tokuger and Go Busters?
That is a good point. I would like to see what I would like to see is maybe in the future do sort of if they're doing Go Busters, what I would like them to do is have a good point of it focused on their training.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go back because in Super Mega Force they used Die Ranger without thinking.
Yeah.
I would like them to go back and cover that shit.
Like explain why it existed.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
Because okay, I mean it's a little difficult to do because then you have to explain like the Magna Warriors Morpher.
I don't know. I prefer Chinaman Red over Die Red. You don't get my joke, do you?
Is that an Akiba reference?
Yes. That because in Dire Ranger, originally Dire Ranger was going to be Chinaman. That's what it was going to be called.
Oh, Fire Kaiser says that they would like to see Zoo Ultra for Power Rangers in the future. I didn't see that, but I hear it's one of the better series.
It is.
I do like the theme song. I have to go back and watch it, but yeah, that would be an excellent series to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, and here's the thing, I like the way the shirts look like or the suits look like animal T-shirts.
Also, can we please get Hasbro to get Akiba Ranger on Adult Swim?
That would be tricky, but it's doable. Here's the thing, though: Adult Swim's Cartoon Network and Power Rangers airs on Nickelodeon.
I mean, Hasbro already has Transformers on Cartoon Network, so it's not that far fetched.
Fair enough. So yeah, I would definitely like that'd be interesting for them to do. But
what would it be called though? Power Rangers Otaku Force?
It would probably be, I don't know how they would do it actually. They would have to do something kind of a bit like Metalocalypse, I think. Or Death Clock.
Yeah. And maybe we'll actually have them like 3 weebs who go to Japan.
That would work.
And then they end up in a Sentai cafe thinking it was a Power Rangers cafe. And then
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
3 waifu dolls that'll give them their
powers. I mean, that could work. Now that would be. Here's the problem though: is Akiba Ranger, while what did have the highest ratings, actually had the lowest toy sales, which is why it only got the 2 seasons it did.
Well, it wasn't an adult show, so it wasn't made to sell toys to kids.
Well, cute anime girl figurines and lingerie aren't meant for kids either.
Fair enough. Which one was that though?
Well, think about it. The Akiba Rangers
Yeah.
transform with anime dolls.
Yeah.
Or figurines, I guess I should say. I don't collect them. They're static figures, and there's just not that much to them.
Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure that the toys that were released for Akiba Ranger were like the SHs and the diecast.
Yes, but what I'm saying is
Collectible
like
stuff.
sales were not met as projected.
Right.
So, they unfortunately couldn't go further with it.
Mm.
Because the idea was to cover as many Sentai tropes as possible.
Right. And they had plenty more to do.
Absolutely.
I did like the whole Ultraman parody thing they did with it, though. Where it basically said that Super Sentai was going to get canceled and replaced with Ultraman.
I think both shows can coexist.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm a little disappointed with Ultraman right now. Once the whole, look at all this, look at how good he used to be stuff stops, once that ends, I will get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
I want, let's get a new writer in, someone fresh. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, shall we talk about what we're going to do in the future now with this?
Yeah.
All right. Well, first things first, we've already decided we're going to be reviewing old anime, 5 episodes a week, and we've already decided which one we're going to start with.
Yes. So Kenny has convinced me to watch Star Blazers.
Yes.
So I'm gonna get into that pretty soon. I imagine at some point.
I convince you by the 5th episode you will know the opening theme song.
Okay.
It is that catchy.
And what we'll probably do is create a short list of anime to cover in bursts.
So if you guys got any recommendations, feel free to comment below. But
and
we want to focus on retro anime.
Yes, and what? To make it even more fair, follow us on Twitter, and we will post a vote there.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to give our Twitter?
Oh yeah, so it's at weekend_dojo. It's all lowercase. You can find us there. It's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's about it for the night.
Yeah. Well, yep. When do you want to start our Star Blazers?
Well, if we're playing a board game
next week.
If we're playing the board game next week, then maybe not.
Yeah, we are doing that Saturday. How about this? How about Sunday is the board game. How about we so what I can do is I can take the video after it's live and then edit it after that, and then just delete the live version and replace it with the better quality version. But what I'm thinking is we maybe go live. How about this? Next Saturday we can do our first 5. This Saturday, coming Saturday, if we aren't busy, we'll review the first 5 episodes.
Okie doke. Although, like I said, I probably won't have time to watch it this week because it's essentially all month. I'm going to be working 6 days a week, 8 hours a day.
Do that. To be determined.
To be determined. We'll mash it out, and you'll see the first episode when we see it. As always, thank you all for spending the last minutes of your long weekend with us.
Mm-hmm.
We really appreciate it. And as always, we will, remember to celebrate the weekend. Stay cool, and we'll see you later, Weekend Warriors.
Stay more phenomenal, everybody.